Hey g'day, boys and girls, shillers and blokes. My name is Jacob, and today I'm going to give you all a rundown on the history of Monster Hunter cross Final Fantasy collabs, since that recent news drop from Gamescom has got me and everyone else excited to talk about it. And this is actually a topic I find quite interesting because while everyone's well aware of the Monster Hunter World Behemoth collab, many might not know that this wasn't the first time both series crossed over. You see, back in late 2014, during the heydays of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, we got a special collaboration between Square Enix legend Tetsuya Nomura and MH4U. This collab that, while being marketed as just a special artist collaboration, was more or less one big Final Fantasy collab. The crossover gave us an armor set themed around the FF summoned Diabolos with a longsword that was quite literally FF7's one-winged Angel Sephiroth. We also got some Palico armor that turned our little kitty into FF's poster child for Warrior of Light from the OG 1987 Final Fantasy game. To obtain this gear, hunters had to complete 3 new event quests pitting us against a Gormagala for the weapon, a powerful Apex Diabolos for the armor, and a Kushala Daora for the Palico gear. And no, I'm not talking about that Apex Diabolos from Rise, but rather the Monster Hunter 4 iteration of an Apex, which were monsters who overcame the Gormagala's Frenzy virus to transform into new dangerous threats. Anyway, a quick side note here, I always found it pretty clever that we had to defeat a Diabolos in order to craft the Diabolos armor. Also, this exact collaboration gear would be reused again in the next game, Monster Hunter Generations, except this time you only had to fight a Kushala Daora and a Deviljho. So moving along now to our second crossover between these beloved series, we have the Monster Hunter Explore cross Final Fantasy Breave Exvius collaboration. If you're unfamiliar with these games, then that's fair because they are both Japanese mobile titles. Breave Exvius did get a Western release, and I did play it on and off over the years, but the Monster Hunter collab never went global, so what's it matter? Anyway, the details of this collab were pretty hard for me to try and find given both how old it is and that I don't know Japanese to properly search on the region of the internet where this collab was marketed at, but from what I did find on the wikis, we can see both games shared their armors with the FFBE main cast getting hunter variants you could have gotcha'd for, and MH Explore got armor sets themed around Breave Exvius' main leads. And also in Monster Hunter Explore, players got to hunt a special variant of the Stygian Zinogre called the FFBE Zinogre. Yes, I know that is a very original name. Anyway, this variant is designed to look like FF's famous behemoth, and it even summoned those dreaded meteors hunters would later come to know all too well in Monster Hunter World. But before I get to that game, I would like to ask you all to please like, comment, and subscribe. Video engagement is crucial for smaller channels like mine to grow, so please give me a hand here. Cheers. Now, where was I? Oh right, Monster Hunter World. So yes, this finally brings us to the collaboration most of the player base is familiar with. In 2018, the same year Monster Hunter World released, we got our first massive collaboration in a mainline Monster Hunter game that brought us an entire voiced questline featuring characters, monsters, magic and more from the Final Fantasy series. Specifically, Final Fantasy XIV, the critically acclaimed MMORPG with expanded free trial, the award-winning Hammersword and 30 score expansion, up level 70 with very searchable playtime. Anyway, this is an important distinction to make because Capcom pulled out all of the stops to ensure that this behemoth hunting world was as close to FF14's fight as possible, for better and for worse. Behemoth brought all of the MMO-like mechanics familiar to FF14 players here, such as the class role system, aggro management, fight rotations, etc. I don't particularly mind this, as I am familiar with both games to know how to perform them correctly, but from a strictly Monhun player point of view, I would have rathered this fight behave more like your typical monster hunt instead of what we got. But that complaint aside, for players who successfully hunted Behemoth, they were rewarded with the materials to craft the Draken armor set and the Gay Bulg insect glaive. Oh, and there's this Moogle full set for your cat. I honestly forgot about the Moogle during the first recording, but yeah, you can craft this too. There's also a high jump emote, but I'm pretty sure this is given to you at the start of the quest and not rewarded afterwards. Personally, I find this gear kind of an odd choice for the collab, since in FF14, this is the level 50 Dragoon artifact gear, which has zero relation to the monster Behemoth or even the Stormblood expansion in which this collab took place in. There's actually already a Behemoth armor set in FF14 players can get through PvP that, while it doesn't look as cool as the Draken armor, would have at least been a bit more on theme for Behemoth. Or perhaps Capcom could have instead imagined what the Monhun Smithies would craft out of Behemoth parts, similar to what the FF14's universe Smithies did with their iteration of the Rathalos armor in Final Fantasy XIV. So yeah, I'm kind of glancing over the Final Fantasy XIV side of the collab in this video to save for its own one, but TLDR, in FF14, players can hunt the series' flagship Rathalos in a fight also faithfully recreated to play in FF14 just like it would in a Monster Hunter game. But before I talk a bit more about that, I have one last Monhun Cross FF collab to show, and that's the crossover we got last year in Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. This one's another mobile gacha game, and I didn't even bother playing this one. Thankfully though, I didn't have to because the details of it are easily found online, unlike the Breave Exvius collab. So this crossover was released in two parts, with the first wave giving players the opportunity to gamble for Glavenus Cloud and Zinogre Zack to use in a fight against Rathalos in Monster Hunter World's Arena. Wave 2 brought players another exciting opportunity to gamble, this time for the Kirin Tifa or Kimura Maiden Aerith. I'm willing to bet this was the more popular gacha out of these two waves, don't ask me why. And this wave's fight was pretty much the same as the first one, just they made Rathalos silver now. Personally, I find this collab kind of a weird one all round because it's not particularly tied to any one Monster Hunter game. Like, if it wasn't for this Monster Hunter Rise Aerith design, you could say it's a Monster Hunter World collab, but yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter in the end. Also, there's this Kimura body armor Catseef costume that I don't know how it ties into the collab, so I'll just put him here. And with that all said and done, I'm pretty sure I've covered every Monster Hunter cross Final Fantasy collab, or at least the ones that I know about. Bar of course the Wilds Cross FF14 event that's releasing later this year. You can expect me to make a video covering that when it's out, as well as another video soon about the FF14 side of the Monster Hunter World collab. I actually started working on that about a month or so ago. I just got really demotivated to make content at the time, so it's been sitting there waiting for me to come back. But hey, if you're still listening, then cheers. I appreciate your support. Please like the video if you liked it, or dislike it if you didn't. I'm open to dialogue in the comments, so tell me about how many of these collabs you knew about, or what your favourite collab is, etc. And subscribe for more content like this. Alright, that's all. Have a good one, people. Cheers.